Hey, good afternoon. Do you know what today is? Today is your last set of notes. How about that? Aren't you excited? Or at least for the semester. The remainder of the things that we're going to do is going to be a review for the exam. Sorry about that. It's going to be a review for the exam, and then I'll be back second semester, and we will start new material. So today is the last day for this semester of notes. Alright, so today we're going to talk about trapezoids and kites. Two different types of quadrilaterals, things that we haven't really mentioned too much about in the last set of, or a couple of sets of notes. So today we're going to talk about trapezoids. And remember, trapezoids have one set of parallel sides, and those parallel sides are considered to be, whoops, you can't see that, write it over here, are considered to be bases of that trapezoid. So now we can talk about the base angles. The base angles are the two angles that share a base. And theorem 615 says that the base angles of an isosceles triangle, remember isosceles has two sides that are the same, are congruent. So that means this angle here, angle S, is going to be congruent to this angle here, angle R. And then angle P is also going to be congruent to angle Q. It's same, they're base angles to each other. So we can take that information and we can use it to solve for the angles given certain information. Within this isosceles trapezoid, angle B is 102 degrees. So if that's 102 degrees, you should know then the other base angle, angle C, is going to be 102 degrees. So now we're going to find A and D. In order to find A and D, we know that we have a quadrilateral, and the degree measure of a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. So if this is x and this is x, we can add all of those up. 102 plus 102 plus 2x equals 360. So this is 204 plus 2x equals 360. When you subtract off 204, you get 2x equals 156. And you divide by 2, x is equal to 78 degrees. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Here we have an isosceles triangle, or not triangle, trapezoid. We have this base angle is 70 degrees, so that means this base angle is 70 degrees, which is going to be angle R. So angle R is 70 degrees. We need to find the other two. So just like in the problem we did above, we can say 70 plus 70 plus 2x equals 360. This is 140 plus 2x equals 360. Let's subtract off 140. 2x equals 220. X equals 110. Now, some of you might be saying, wait a minute, we have a trapezoid, and trapezoids have one set of parallel sides, and we know that this is parallel to this. So let's forget about the other half of that trapezoid. Think of this as a transversal that's cutting this. Angle P and angle S are on the same side of that transversal. So using same side interior angles are 180 degrees. They're supplementary, right? So if we call this x, we could have used x plus 70 equals 180. And watch this. If we subtract 70, x is equal to 110. We get the same answer, but just using a different method. So whenever you can apply things that we have learned before, I would say go ahead and do it. As long as you're following the rules of math and you're not breaking any theorems or rules, you will get the right answer. All right. So the next thing about isosceles trapezoids is that their diagonals are congruent, just like the diagonals of a rectangle. So FD is 10 is going to be equal to EC, which is 3x plus 1. And we can solve for x by subtracting 1. 9 equals 3x, divide by 3, and x is equal to 3. Very simple equation to solve. And now on to kites. Kites, just like rhombuses, the diagonals are perpendicular also. So this diagonal and this diagonal form a 90-degree angle. So let's try to use that information to find some angle measures. And I know it might be hard to see. This angle is 32 degrees, and it's pointing right there. This is what they're asking for is angle 3. Here's 1, and here's 2. Well, since we have, or know it's a kite, we know that they're going to form 90-degree angles here. That means the measure of angle 1 is 90 degrees. You understand? Right? They all form 90-degree angles. Now, if we look closely and block out some of this, we see a triangle. We should be able to find the measure of angle 2 very easily by doing 32 plus 90 plus x equals 180. So we have 122 plus x equals 180. We subtract off 122. X is going to be equal to 58. So the measure of angle 2 is 58 degrees. Now, how can I find the measure of angle 3? Well, some of you are probably saying, it's 32, it's 32. Well, the measure of angle 3 is 32 degrees. How do I know that, though? Well, let's look at this triangle here. We know that we have a right angle. We know its hypotenuse. And we know that it shares a common side with this other triangle. And this other triangle has it's a 90-degree angle. Its hypotenuses are congruent, and it shares a same leg that's the same. So based on HL, hypotenuse leg, we can say that these triangles are congruent. Since the triangles are congruent, this angle measure is going to be congruent to this angle measure. So if this is 32, then angle 3 is 32 degrees. All right. Moving on, find the measures of 1, 2, and 3 of the kite. Again, we should be able to find number 1 very easily because the kite diagonals are 90 degrees. So measure of angle 1 is 90 degrees. The measure of angle 2, based on all the information that we did before with hypotenuse leg, because they share a common side, that if this is 46, measure of angle 2 is 46. So now we got to figure out what the measure of angle 3 is, and the measure of angle 3 is going to be 46 plus 90 plus x equals 180. We're going to look at just this small little triangle, and we should be able to figure it out that way. 46 plus 90 is 136. And if we subtract off 136, x is going to be equal to 44. So the measure of angle 3 is 44 degrees. All right, let's look at letter C. We're not given any diagonals here. We just know that this is a kite. So it's a quadrilateral. The angles all add up to be 360, right? 4 minus 2 times 180 is 360 degrees. All quadrilaterals have an interior angle measure of 360 degrees. So we have 101 plus 48 plus, well, these two angles are going to be congruent with each other. Why is that? So if we were to split this in half, drop that diagonal, it's going to be reflexive, and then we'll see that this angle is congruent, or this side is congruent to this side is congruent to itself, and these two sides are congruent. So therefore we have side, 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 and by side, side, side says that these two triangles are congruent, therefore its parts are congruent, so 1 must be congruent to 2 by side, side, side. So now we can say that this is x and this is x, or we have 2x, equals to 360. So we have 149 plus 2x equals 360. If we subtract off 149, 2x equals 211. Divide by 2, x is equal to 105.5. And that is the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 2. Alright guys, congratulations, you finished all of your notes now for the first semester. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. And if you ever need to, these videos are posted online on my website. You can go on there, you can watch these things over and over and over again if you would like to. If not, enjoy this time and try to do as much as you can and as well as you can on the exam. And I hope to see you guys soon. And I will be sending pictures if you haven't gotten any of baby Ricci at this point. Still don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but we'll see sooner rather than later. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day, and good luck on your exam, and make sure you study hard. See you guys. Bye.